Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday. It is the 21st day of May 2025. I hope you're all safe and healthy today. Hope your family is safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in health, who work with first responders, who are all trying to save lives, and those that pick up garbage to keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover. The teenagers and children that are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of pornography, child pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on all the perpetrators, the profiteers, and the perverts that create the demands that cause these industries to exist. Double blessings on the homeless. More than 700,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, and veterans homeless in the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There is a basketball game scheduled tonight. The New York Knicks are going to be hosting game one of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Indiana Pacers. I think last night I looked at a couple of the games from the Cleveland, Indiana series, and then I basically watched from the end of the end of the first half, and the final half of the Minnesota Oklahoma City series. And from the two games, I got this strategy that the Knicks need to use to beat Indiana. The reason that Indiana has such a long rotation in that they play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, sometimes 10 guys. The reason that is the case mainly is because both of these teams play kind of former New York Knicks head coach Rick Pitino style game. They keep coming at you. They have 94 feet defense. And that defense is 94 feet because two things that they're trying to do. Three things. They're trying to wear you down. They're trying to get you to set up your offense with less than 18, 17 seconds left on the clock. And they're trying to create turnovers. So that's what they're trying to do. For Indiana in particular, because we're playing them, it's Aaron Nesmith, Andrew Nembhard, Ben Sheppard, and TJ McConnell. Those are the guys that will pick you up 94 feet. They take turns doing it. That's why, like for example, McConnell averages 17 minutes. Sheppard averages 13 minutes. Nembhard averages 33 minutes. And Nesmith averages 30 minutes. So nobody really playing more than 35 minutes. They're certainly not playing 40 minutes. And they can come at you, and they keep coming at you. They're very physical, and they keep coming at you. So for the Knicks, certain basics still apply. Do not turn the ball over. Okay, which is what they're trying to make you do. Do not turn the ball over. Number two, make sure the ball moves. Because against teams like these, when the ball is moving, it gives you a better shot, better opportunity to get a good look at the basket. And so with Oklahoma, the difference is with Oklahoma City, they have an MVP, soon to be named MVP, and superstar in SGA. They also, with SGA, have a very high-level cast of supporting characters. Biggest one being J-Dub, because J-Dub is really, I don't know if he's been named it yet, but he's an all-NBA level talent, put it that way. And he's only 24 years old. So you got an MVP, and next to him, an all-NBA level talent. And so when they double SGA, they can make you pay with J-Dub. And then, of course, they got Chet Holmgren, who is a very talented, also, he's light, but he's very talented. They play him 30 minutes a game. They get the most out of him. And then, of course, there's other characters that they play with that are all very, very solid players to complement SGA. On the Indiana side, though, they do have Tyrese Halliburton. And I want to say, from watching the couple of games I saw with the Cleveland Cavaliers, he is better than he was last year when they played the Knicks. He's better. He's not on the level of SGA, of course, or Jalen Brunson, but he's more than solid. He's a very, very good, high-level NBA point guard. Now, but they don't use him as much to press 94 feet. But they do use him in double teaming, and playing the lanes, and he does it very well. So this is not going to be, for example, Jalen Brunson facing Tyrese Halliburton. It's not going to be that. It's going to be the whole Indiana team trying to wear down the Knicks, particularly Jalen Brunson. So do not turn the ball over, number one. Make sure the ball is moving, number two. Also, Indiana is a weak offensive rebounding team. They're very weak on the offensive glass. They get about 7 to 9 offensive boards a game. The Knicks are pretty much average rebounding as a team, but they're elite offense, especially since Mitchell Robinson come back. They average 12 offensive rebounds a game. This is going to be very important because offensive rebounds get you second and third opportunities. And in the playoffs, every possession is important. So that's another difference that the Knicks have. Now, they must allow Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart to take the ball up against the Pacers because of the 94 feet. Over a 7-game period, and they can keep coming at you in waves of these 4 guys. You don't want Brunson to have to deal with that. Now, last year they did the same thing, and Brunson did burn them up a couple of times. Even, we had a light and water. And that brings me to another point I want to make real quick. Yesterday I saw a video of the Boston Celtics general manager talking about they gave away or blew 2 games. The reason the NBA has a 7-game series is because at the end of the series, the best team wins. Now, sometimes, as in the case, say, of the Bucks, if they're losing Giannis that they did last year, well, they're no longer better than the team that they had played before, and they'll lose because they weren't the best team anymore. So the Knicks beat the Celtics. The Celtics didn't lose 2, just give away 2. They got beat. They got their ass beat. Yes, they were up 20 and twice got their ass beat because the Knicks are better, period. Okay, now next year, we'll see you. As a matter of fact, you know how we do it. How did they and Bunch do it? We'll see you next year. Enjoy your vacation. Take that L and go on your way. That's one thing. So that's why you play 7 games. Then I heard some idiot. Why did I listen to CBS Sports? I don't know. But this fool was on talking about the Knicks basically got lucky against the Celtics and Detroit. How could you get lucky in 2 7-game playoff series in the NBA? And their luck's about to run out. See, this is what caused me to start the channel. Listening to numbnuts like that. Okay? So, look here. They gotta not let Jalen Brunson get beat up. Okay? Oh, also, wait, one other thing I wanted to say. Y'all know last year, Juju was hurt. MitchRob was hurt, right? They had OG for all of 1, maybe 2 games in the 7-game series, and the Knicks still took them 7 games. This year, Indiana was playing, there was a couple games, no Darius Garland, no Evan Mobley, and they still went 7 games. So all I'm saying is, the Knicks come in full strength this year, okay? I'm going to tell you something right off the bat. I think the Knicks are going to win this series in 6, and I'm being conservative in that. If the Knicks stick to the game plan. Now, let Mikal or Josh Hart bring the ball up and set up the offense. That'll save time on the clock, give you more seconds to set up your offense. Let Jalen Brunson be off ball and get the ball off picks, off screens, off weaves, things like that. Karl-Anthony Towns needs to take a lot of shots. If you do these things, a couple of things will happen. Karl Anthony Towns takes the most shots, like he did in Game 6 against Boston. First of all, there's nobody on Indiana that can guard Karl Anthony Towns. But see, Indiana plays more of a team defense. Not a zone, but they definitely double the ball, and they're very good at getting back. They double and sprint back. They show double and sprint back. Very good in that regard. So they're going to do that to Karl Anthony Towns. They're going to double him and sprint back. Knicks got to be cutters. Got to be cutters. This is where OG and McCall, especially, and Josh Hart, this is where they shine. So that's going to open up the floor for the Knicks, getting Karl Anthony Towns the basketball. It's going to also open up opportunities for Brunson because none of them could guard Brunson. None of them could guard Brunson. Now, they're very physical. I would say Detroit is more physical. And again, we all, I can't say we all, I hate that term. But a lot of us understand that the Detroit series prepared the Knicks very well to go through the rest of these playoffs. I would say Detroit was the most physical team in the playoffs. And so they prepared the Knicks. Indiana is also physical. They're not as physical as Detroit. Nembhard is physical. And of course, Aaron Nesmith is very physical. But I have to say, Thompson is more physical than both of them. Okay? And so if he could deal with Thompson, he could deal with these cats. And he's done it before. It's not like Brunson has never faced these guys before. So move the basketball. Get the offensive glass. Keep the turnovers low. Get Karl Anthony Towns a lot of shots. That should do us for us, okay? Offensively, stick with your man. It's another game where you got to stay home. Indiana is very good at not. I'm just not talking about getting to their spots in terms of a shooter like, let's say, Jason Tatum. Is elite. One of the best in the world at getting to his spots where he knows he's high percentage. Or say even TJ McConnell, who is extremely good at getting to certain spots where he knows he shoots a high percentage. And you can know he's going there and he still gets there. But what they are good at is movement without the ball and getting the open men to the right spots. They're very good at that. All of the guys that in their starting five and their rotation, they could do that. They get to the open spot and the ball handler finds them. Whoever that is, Kyle Burton or whoever it is, they're very good at that. So the Knicks have got to stay home, stay with their man. They don't have to double team Halliburton. If you're playing SGA, you do, because you want him, because SGA is so tough. You want him to get the ball, you want to get the ball out of his hand. He's very, very difficult to guard, okay? And so, but Halliburton is not the same. Halliburton's good. I ain't going to front. He's good, and he could do work too. But you really could guard him one-on-one. Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, OG, they could all guard him. Okay, they could all guard him. And if he's standing outside the three-point line, Jalen Brunson can guard him. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. You got, and also it's a typical Thibodeau thing. You got to keep people out the paint. And Halliburton and Nembhard and Nesmith, they love to get in the paint. You got to keep them out the paint. So this is not going to be easy in terms of strategy. But one thing I will say, just as you've seen, Boston can only play one way, right? So they were three-point bombers, right? And when their three-point bombs weren't working, they had a problem, right? They had a problem. See, Oklahoma City, for example, last night, they shoot 39 threes a game, which is no joke. It ain't like the 48 that Boston shoot, but 39 threes a game is a lot of threes. Last night, they only put up 21 because Minnesota took away the three-point shot, and they went inside, and they took 21, and they shot 52%. Everybody was like hitting 1 for 2, 1 for 3 threes. Nobody was bombing the lights out, but they were very efficient with that. See, so if they took away the three-point line, Minnesota did, Oklahoma City still got inside and scored inside. Boston couldn't really do that. Boston would bomb you from 3, and if you took that away, which the Knicks did 4 times, then they was going to get beat, no matter what their lead was to start, okay? Well, Indiana only plays one way. They're going to keep coming at you with that pressure. They're going to keep them 4 guys are going to keep coming at you. They're going to keep coming at you. They're going to keep coming at you. They move the ball extremely well. They all shoot good from three. So if you beat the pressure and you beat it efficiently and you're able to set up your offense, you could beat Indiana. Okay, because that's the only thing they know. They're going to keep doing that until they foul out. They're going to keep coming at you, coming at you, coming at you. So it's important that Jalen Brunson don't try to take on all of that by himself. That he lets Josh Hart. He lets McCall Bridges. He allows Deuce to take that ball up. So he don't have to face that pressure. He goes off ball, and that puts more pressure on Indiana to guard him because you gotta always account for him. Combine that, of course, with the fact that you're feeding Cat the ball. They got a double Cat. That leaves other people open. So offensively, that's what you're going to do. Defensively, stay home. Stay with your man. Because the thing about Indiana, I feel like they're really, in terms of percentage-wise, a better three-point shooting team than Boston. They shoot 41% as a team from three. Boston puts up more shots. You know, they put up 48 a game. So even if they're shooting 32%, they're going to hit a lot of them. But Indiana doesn't shoot as many, but they shoot them very efficiently. And so, like Halliburton, Halliburton is the worst three-point shooter in their starting five. He shoots 34% from three, but he takes 7 a game. Okay, then you got Benedict Mathurin. He takes 4 a game, but he only shoots 28%, right? But Miles Turner, it's raining men, shoot 45%. They're going to Siakam shoot 44%. Nembhard shooting 50%. Nesmith shooting 48%. These dudes can shoot the three, man. Okay, so you got to stay home with them. They create a lot of open threes. You got to stay home with them. Stay with your man. You don't need to double nobody out there. There's no need to double Siakam. There's no need to double any of them. You can stay home with your man. Okay, I can understand if it was Jason Tatum. Okay, that they don't have a Jason Tatum. They got a lot of really good players, but there's no Jason Tatum on Indiana that you got to double. Otherwise, you're going to kill you. Stay home with your man. Okay, stay with your man, and you should be all right. Stay home and get stops. Again, all the playoffs is all about getting stops. Whoever gets the most stops will win the basketball game. So stay home, stay with your man, rebound the basketball. Indiana, I was listening to Coach Carlisle. I was listening to Halliburton run his mouth too much. And that's why this is the difference between the Knicks players and some of Indiana. Halliburton was basically giving away the game plan. The Knicks players were very close to the vest with the game plan. Okay, in fact, I think it was either Josh or Brunson said, "I can't tell you my game plan. I'm not going to answer the question and give you the game plan." That's the Knicks. Whereas Halliburton saying, you know, we got to run, we got to rebound the basketball, you know, blah 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 blah. So we know what they're going to want to do. They're going, like I said, because it's an open book. They can play one way. They're going to play with that constant pressure, and they're going to try to run. Okay, but we're going to play control. We're going to play defense. We're going to make sure they got to guard Cat and they got to guard Brunson, which they cannot do. And then the best team will win the game in the 7-game series. Last night, for example, if you look at the score of the Minnesota game, it was 114 to 88. So they won by 26 points. But I want to tell you, the game was tight until the third quarter when Minnesota was getting open looks and they could not buy a basket. See, that's another thing. Sometimes pro players just can't hit the basket. Whereas Juju was 5 or 6 from 3. Juju was 28 points. He was killing. But look here. Then you had DiVincenzo, 3 of 12 from 3. Alexander Walker, 2 of 9 from 3. Anthony Edwards, 3 of 8. Conley, 1 of 5. Now, a lot of that, I got to give credit to Oklahoma City. They played really, really, again, all 4 teams, that's the Final Four in the NBA, are elite defensive teams. So you got to give Oklahoma City credit. But I was watching the game. There was many shots that Alexander Walker had, that Devo had. even the commentators said, man, he normally hits that because they just wasn't knocking him down. If you don't hit your shots, that's tough. And this is the thing. If you're not hitting your threes, you got to get to the basket, right? That's what Oklahoma City did. Minnesota put the pressure on them at the 3-point line. They went to the basket. And again, they took their open ones that they just had to take. But look, they only shot 21 threes last night. They were going to the basket. They shot most of their shots within the 3-point line. They got to the line 26 times, whereas Minnesota got 21, so it was pretty close there. But they did a good job countering the 3-point pressure of the Minnesota Timberwolves, whereas the Timberwolves did not do as good a job countering the 3-point pressure of Oklahoma City. And that's, again, in both sets of finals, that's going to be a main thing. Whoever does get the most stops, and in getting stops, you have to stop the other team's 3-point barrages. If you can slow that down, and again, with the Knicks staying home, and one more thing that Thibodeau did say, that Josh Hart did say, that Karl-Anthony Towns said, they got to get back on defense. They can't be slacking. Towns can't be arguing with the rest while there's a layup being made at the other end. And he's got it. He was saying that yesterday, and I was thinking to myself, he's saying we, but really he means me. He needs to get back, and they need to get back on defense quick. So that, because Indiana's looking to run. So if you could cut off their ability to get easy baskets and their 3-point shooting by staying home, getting back on defense, staying home, and then getting them offensive glass. That's MitchRob, right? And but Cat's more of a defensive rebounder, right? Physical defensive rebounder, and we need that. I think we'll be in good shape. This we're going to see what kind of testicular fortitude Indiana has, because see, if I want to see, especially Halliburton. Last year, you could get Halliburton to fold, okay? And I think that's what the Knicks were on their way to doing if they didn't have so many injuries. This year, he's a little bit tougher. He really has matured a little bit. So we're going to put it to the test. I'm still picking the Knicks in 6. This is not going to be an easy cakewalk by any means. We're in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? So this is two teams that have earned the right to be there. Forget all that we gave games away or we just didn't win. No, these are the two best teams in the Eastern Conference playing for the Eastern Conference Championship and playing for a chance to go to the finals. Same in the Western Conference. So whoever the best team is the one that's there. It's going to be on starting tonight. So yes, get back on defense. Stay home with your man to guard that 3-point line. Offensive rebound the basketball. Keep the turnovers low. Feed Karl-Anthony Towns. And we should be all right. You'll enjoy the game tonight. Don't overreact, please. I know I'm talking to something that cannot be done. I'm going to say it anyway. Try to stay even keel, level headed. It's a 7-game series. No matter what happens, it's a 7-game series. Sure.